I've always been under the impression that a triple fan GPU is way more superior than a dual fan GPU under any circumstances. So coincidentally as well, ZOTAC sent over their 1070Ti Mini for a mini review, and I would say about 2-3 weeks ago I also reviewed the Galaxy 1070Ti EX Sniper as well. So I guess this is a good opportunity to sort of compare both cards in terms of performance, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and also I hope you found this video useful as much as I found making this video pretty much fulfilling. So this is the ZOTAC 1070Ti Mini, and as we all are pretty much aware, it sits right in between the 1070 and the 1080. Now I've always wondered to myself how these mini GPUs would perform given its smaller dimension and of course the general belief that anything smaller could potentially lead to a dip in performance or lag in features. The ZOTAC 1070Ti Mini, like any other minis from ZOTAC, is catered towards those who are looking at a much smaller overall build. It's 200mm in length and 115mm in width makes an ITX or an MATX build a breeze. The 1070Ti comes with two fans, each of them having their own dimensions, 90mm on the top and 100mm on the bottom, which is something I'll speak about more later in the video. A quick look at the specs of the 1070Ti Mini. Like any other 1070Tis that I reviewed previously, it has 1607MHz of stock clock and 1683MHz of boost clock with 2432 CUDA cores and of course 8GB of DDR5X memory. And of course it takes up to 2 standard PCIe slots with the usual inputs. So the bigger question is, how would a dual fan GPU like the 1070Ti Mini on stock perform against a triple fan GPU like the Galaxy 1070Ti EX Sniper? Let's have a look at some results of the ZOTAC 1070Ti Mini first. So in terms of temperature, I made a quick comparison on 5-Strike Extreme on how quickly a dual fan GPU would throttle at maximum load against a triple fan GPU. Now on stock clock speeds, both GPUs were quite identical until you look at the thermal thresholds, which is at 79 degrees for the triple fan Galaxy 1070Ti and 72 degrees for the ZOTAC 1070Ti Mini. FPS wise and even load percentages were pretty much identical throughout the test. But given the fact that the Mini does only have a single set of 8-pin for power, which results in overclocking limitations and power draw, this means that the triple fan Galaxy 1070Ti would have much more overclocking potentials compared to the 1070Ti Mini from ZOTAC. Moving on to the exterior of the ZOTAC 1070Ti Mini, you notice the nice and thick 6mm heat pipes, which does help a lot in dissipating heat off the VRAM, especially given the fact that the GPU only has 2 fans, all thanks to the ZOTAC Ice Storm feature. And let's not forget the backplate that we all tend to overlook. But do bear in mind as well though, the ZOTAC Amp Edition, which also is a full-size card, also comes with 2 fans, but they are slightly bigger, hence resulting in slightly better cooling performance. And coming back to the dimensions of the fans, I find it rather interesting to have fans of multiple sizes on a card, but it does make sense for a Mini because you want to be able to move heat as quickly as possible out of the VRAM through the heat pipes. See, I've always been a fan of the ZOTAC card simply because of its minimalist but boldish design, which I really like, with much disregard for any form of RGB on the ZOTAC emblem, which makes a lot of sense because if you're going for the Mini, you won't be able to see much of your GPU in a smaller chassis. The ZOTAC 1070Ti Mini, of course, isn't built for extensive overclocking, given the fact that it only has a 8-pin connector, which limits a lot of power delivery. But then again, you should be looking elsewhere if you like massive overclocking capabilities on a GPU, such as the M Extreme variant from ZOTAC. I'd like to test out the overclocking capabilities and extensive stress testings, and of course burn-ins of the 1070Ti Mini, but unfortunately I had to save them for some other day as I couldn't spend much time dissecting the card as it's a lone unit. To sum things up a little bit, I find that the ZOTAC 1070Ti Mini is more than enough for users who want to game on 1080p or 1440p, and of course for those who use their PC on a smaller form factor setting like an MATX or an ITX case. The Galaxy 1070Ti EX Sniper on the other hand is much more catered towards overclockers or enthusiasts, those who require a bit more of overclocking capabilities and those who require additional cooling as well, or those who use a bigger case per se. But I guess again, this really isn't a direct comparison between both cards. It's more like a proof of concept, and like I said, it's more like a self-fulfilling video, and I'm pretty happy with the results. Of course, if I were to get the 2 GPUs again, I'd probably run some extra stress tests and stuff. So I hope you found this video useful, and of course, I'm going to leave some links to purchase in the description section below. The ZOTAC 1070Ti Mini retails at 2,229 ringgit, and you can purchase them via eTech PC or any PC source of your choice. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.